Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and right now I'm joined by Sadibou Sy, who's coming off a big win this past weekend in Cardiff in the PFL Playoffs over Carlos Leal and getting ready to face Dilano Taylor in the PFL Championships. How's it going, Sadibou?
Hey, how you doing, Curtis?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks again for the time. Really do appreciate it. A few days after your win, man, just give me your reflections on your performance. How do you feel like the fight played out?
First of all, thank you for having me. And yeah, a few days after, good time for things to sink in a little bit. I've actually only been watching the fight just once because I've been just doing a lot of things, and there's gonna be a time when I'm sewn in 100% again to watch the fight and break it down and take what I need to take with me and leave what I don't need behind me, right? So to speak. But the feelings are like I'm very happy with being in the finals, obviously. This is the fourth time for me in PFL, right? Semifinals 2 times and then one quarterfinals. So nice to finally get over the hump. We're not quite there yet. One big fight left, but after the fight and during the fight, I felt amazing. Everything, preparations and everything, right? And if I look at the fight a couple of times, I might say something differently. But my first reaction was after the first round, he came out like a bullet, just like I thought, just like I expected him to, and. I took my time. I didn't stress out. You know, it's not the first time someone tried to crowd me, and so that doesn't bother me at all. So I just took my time, and 2 minutes in, and around 2 minutes in, I felt like, okay, now I have your distance, I have your timing, I have your I know what you're trying to do. Now it's my time to work, and I honestly felt like, I'm gonna take him out in the first round. Like you're not gonna I'm just gonna touch you up. Unfortunately, the finisher didn't come. After a nice jab or 2 jabs, I need to follow it up better. So I felt amazing after the first round, and hats off to him, because in the second round he came out. In my opinion, he was like, I'm not gonna try to match his technique. I'm not gonna try to out technique this guy, and I'm just gonna bite down and fight and make it a dog fight. That was not what I wasn't expecting that, because the momentum was shifting my way, and it's hard to do what he just did, trying to fight a technical fight and just switch mid fight. So I wasn't expecting that, and to be honest, I was a little bit caught, not caught off guard, obviously, but I was shocked because he didn't get tired at all. Like he just kept coming, or he got tired, but just was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go forward.
Right.
So with that being said, just having a couple of different fights within the fight was fun. And the experience was something that I'm gonna take with me. But I'm very happy with the win.
Do you feel like his approach of, you mentioned him coming out aggressively, and I mean, he was pretty aggressive throughout the fight. Do you feel like that kind of played in your favor in terms of, because you're a really rangy guy, you can fight in the pocket, but you can also touch him up on the outside. So do you feel like that kind of played into your game plan?
To be honest, so I was expecting that a little bit, because the thing is, I was like, how is he gonna try to win if he's not trying to put pressure on me? It's gonna be quick for him to realize that he's not gonna be able to stay outside with me, and yeah. So I was expecting that for sure, but I didn't expect him to. I was trying. Most of the fighters, they usually try to have a lot of distance, so be all the way out or all the way in. But he was he was in my face almost, which is unusual, and you have to have you have to be good, you have to be skilled, and you have to not be afraid of getting hit, and like having the endurance to be able to keep up with it. So to be honest, I believe that he fought his best fight against me, because I think I'll beat him when like, it doesn't matter how many times we're gonna fight, because I saw his punches, nothing that he threw like rocked me or hurt me. Like I was in training on Monday, right? But uh, and he's not gonna take me down, and if he takes me down, he's not gonna be able to hold me down. So for me, I'm gonna win this fight, but this was the hardest fight for me to win, because he made it hard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. It definitely makes sense, man. And a couple fights later, I saw you were sitting cage side to watch Dilano Taylor's knockout of Rory MacDonald. What was your immediate reaction to that?
Yeah, so I was actually sitting there and commentating a little bit, and I was just saying that Rory is trying to pressure and push, and trying to like, he doesn't have the he's pushing it a little bit too much, and forcing situations where like the openings are not there, and he's forcing it a little bit. And just like when I said it, he got dropped. I'm not surprised, because so every time you have two guys that's been training together, anything can happen, right? And they've been training a lot together. Both of them told me, and Rory actually told me straight after the fight, because I just trying to give him some encouraging words, and he just told me straight out. He's like, I don't have it anymore. So I was not. I'm not gonna say that I was shocked, but I was, to be honest, very happy for Taylor, because he's been like, they've been trying to get rid of him. Like I'm joking now, obviously, but like being an alternate 3 times and now making the finals, I'm so happy for him, and testament for him being a professional, stepping in a couple of weeks, days notice every time, staying ready. But with that being said, not taking anything away from none of those guys. I just beat Rory 6 weeks prior to this fight, and I thought that Rory was gonna be the tougher matchup for me. If when I looked at those two. So with that being said, Taylor, I believe, is a perfect matchup for me. I'm saying that, but not taking him for granted, or like trying to. You still need to go through the fight, and I'm like I said, I started to train on Monday, and that's not because I'm not trying to underestimate him.
You touched on something interesting there that I want to get back to. So you mentioned that Rory MacDonald kind of mentioned in your brief conversation that he doesn't have it anymore. Did you get any idea that he was retiring?
Yeah, I honestly thought so, because so what I told him, I was like, you've done so much for the sport of mixed martial arts. Make sure you hold your head high when you walk out of it, because you are a champion, right? And he just looked at me and said, I don't have it anymore. And I just thought, I was like, so if that's what you say, then yeah, it's only you that knows, right? So I wasn't shocked that a couple hours later, he was writing on social media that he was gonna retire.
I gotcha, man. And I remember you and I talked a little bit earlier this year during Media Day about how much facing Rory MacDonald meant to you. Just kind of give me your thoughts on how that whole fight played out. I mean, what was it like being across the cage from him, spending 15 minutes with him in the cage? And what are your thoughts on his legacy in the sport?
To be honest, I believe that he's done so much for the sport of mixed martial art. He came in like the first generation of like a true mixed martial artist, not having different like backgrounds, right? Which is I'm just sitting down in the car, so you know. So he came in. Yeah, so he came in like the first generation of a mixed martial artist, and without any background, and he's been through it all. And I told you guys prior to the fight that Rory is not the kind of fighter that's gonna beat himself. You actually need to beat him. So for me, I always honestly saw myself winning that fight, and I always know that I've had what it takes to beat the guy like that. Yeah. And for me, what made me happy with that fight, and there's a lot of things that I saw myself doing differently and doing better, if we were fighting in the finals, right? But for me to not to face him and being in there 15 minutes with him, not only like making a first round 1 minute KO with a kick, right? Because now I actually could showcase that, you know, my skill level has evolved, and things that has been issues and been what I would consider holes in my game previously aren't there anymore. And I believe I showed that as well with the Carlos Leal fight, because I've been working a lot, obviously, on my wrestling and grappling, and my striking has honestly uh, been like I had to suffer a little bit for it, but that's just something that I had to go through. Uh, in a couple of months, I'm gonna be able to train a little bit more, like I would love to now, when I feel like my wrestling and grappling is where it needs to be.
What do you feel like has been the biggest difference between your last season in 2021 to this season? Because I can tell over your last few fights that your confidence has been building. Obviously, you seem a lot more comfortable with your grappling. What do you feel like have been the biggest differences this season?
So there's a lot of things, to be honest. First and foremost, I came into the season healthy. Last season I wasn't healthy, and there's nothing that I've used like an excuse or something like that previously, because everybody has something. But I had a knee surgery 2 months prior to the season starting, right? And also before the last fight, 2021, 2.5 weeks prior to the fight, I got COVID. So I wasn't healthy, and there's nothing that because everybody goes through things. If I'm in the cage, I'm healthy enough to fight, right? That's my mind. So that's why for me, I'm not gonna sit there and before the fight say that I am injured. I'm not in my no. I'm here, and this is the best I could be today. That's my mindset. So being healthy is a big thing. And then I made the move over to Las Vegas in January, um, which was huge for me, because of many reasons. Because like I've always been training hard, and always been very disciplined and focused. But it was much easier being out there because I didn't have any distractions, no friends, family, or things to do other than train, eat, sleep, right? Uncomfortable. All of those things was huge for me. And then being able to pinpoint, okay, I need to wrestle a little bit more. So I've been, yeah, like you can see, I've been wrestling and grappling a lot the last couple of months, and honestly, I've been wrestling a lot like the last year, even in Sweden. But I think it took a little while for it to show in the cage, you know.
Yeah, I totally got you, man. And looking ahead to what's next, man, just kind of talk about how much winning a PFL title and winning $1 million would mean to you in your career.
You know what? I'll tell you what. When I win the million, I'll tell you what I'll do with it. I don't want to go. The only thing I want to focus on is my next fight. I don't want to focus on I'm gonna do this and that with the mill until I have it. My focus is on the fight, and like I said, I could be fighting an amateur. I could be fighting. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't start training on Monday, 2 days after my fight, if I wasn't focused and if I took this guy serious. if I was underestimating him. So I'm focused, and that's all I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about nothing about. I want to have that belt.
Absolutely, man. And I was about to ask about that. Like, what's your post-fight routine usually like? Do you like taking a couple days off and then getting right back in there, or do you like taking a week off? What's kind of typically how you handle post-fights?
Previous years, I've honestly taken 1 or 2 weeks off completely, even if I'm not injured. This year, the fight were a little bit tighter. The schedule was a little bit tighter, and because it was 7 weeks before in between the first two fights, and then 6 weeks in between fight number 2 and 3. Uh, so I honestly got back in training just a couple of days after the fights both times, which was fortunate because I had no major injuries, and same this time, no major injuries. So I've been able to train already.
I got you, man. And last question for me, man. Once again, I really do appreciate the time. I know you got a lot going on today. What's your message to Dilano Taylor ahead of your fight in November?
I don't have a message for him. We are actually we're actually friendly. The only things for me is this just business. I'm proud of him making the finals. Like I told you, stepping in short notice, staying ready. But I'm gonna train my ass off, and I expect him to do so as well. And that's it.
Absolutely, man. We're looking forward to that one, man. I know a lot of fans are looking forward to it too. Before we wrap things up, I'll give you the floor to shout out any sponsors you have, shout out your team, any of that good stuff, and I'll give you the final word.
Perfect. Yeah, appreciate that. My sponsors, Atunia, and the gyms that I train for: Vasa, Praetorian, Pancrase Gym, All Stars Gym, Extreme Couture, Baker Woods Training, and every guy that's included in that. My friends and family that's been pushing me a lot, and all the fans like this.
Absolutely, man. Well, Sadibou, it was great to chat with you, man. Let's definitely do this again soon, man. I really do appreciate the time, and all the best with these next couple months, and we'll chat again soon, man. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. All right, brother.